So far in this section, we have learned how to create a class-based component and how to work with states and events in a class-based component. But what about side effects? As we learned that we cannot use React hooks in a class-based component. That means we cannot use useEffect React hook to handle side effects in a class-based component. However, class-based components have a concept called component lifecycle. So there are some special methods which you can use in a class-based component to execute certain logic in different stages in that lifecycle of class-based component. Lifecycle methods are the special methods in a class-based component which can be used to execute certain logics in different stages of a component lifecycle. And these lifecycle methods are available for class-based components. Now, the first and the most important lifecycle method is componentDidMount method. Just like render method of a class-based component, componentDidMount is a built-in method of class-based component. To use this method, your component class must inherit from React's built-in component class. Now, this method gets called whenever your component is just mounted. That means this lifecycle method is called when the component is evaluated and rendered in the DOM. And this method is equivalent to useEffect React hook, but without any dependencies. So when we use useEffect React hook, there we need to specify this dependencies array. And this dependencies array can be empty, right? Now, when we specify an empty array as dependencies to this useEffect, in that case, the callback function which we pass as the first argument to this useEffect React hook, that gets executed only once when the component is rendered for the first time. And after that, even if the component inside which we are using this useEffect, if the state inside that component changes and the component gets re-rendered, there this callback function will not get re-executed. And the same behavior we can get using this componentDidMount method in class-based components. So this componentDidMount method will get called only once when the component will be rendered for the first time. After that, even if the state in that component changes, this method will not get re-executed. Let's see this in action. So here I am in the demo component, and here we have created this demo component using JavaScript class. And this demo component is also inheriting from this component class. So as I mentioned earlier, in order to use this componentDidMount method, our component class must inherit from this built-in component class. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's create this componentDidMount method. And inside this method, you can write your logic to handle side effects. And keep in mind that this method will be called only once when this demo component will be rendered for the first time. So what I'm going to do is, inside this method, I'm going to write a console.log statement. And here, let's simply say componentDidMount called. Let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. Let's open developer console here. And here you will notice that this message componentDidMount called has been logged. Let me clear the console and let's refresh the page again. And again, you will see that componentDidMount called has been logged here. That means this method is getting called when this demo component is rendered for the first time in the web page. Now let's go back to the web page and let me click on this hide button. So what it will do is it will change this state, this show paragraph state. But even if the state changes here, this method is not going to be re-executed. Let's see that. Let me click on this hide button. So the paragraph has been hidden, but this componentDidMount has not been executed again. Now here you see this message componentDidMount called 2 times. That's because if you remember, earlier I have mentioned that in the index.js, since we are using this app component inside this react.strict mode, that's why the component is getting executed 2 times. If I remove this strict mode, if I save the changes now, if we go to the web page, let me clear everything here and let's refresh the page. So now you will see that that message has been logged only once. And even though in the component the state changes, this method is not getting called again. So this is componentDidMount method. Next, we have componentDidUpdate method. This is also a lifecycle method of class-based component. And this lifecycle method gets called when the component was updated. That means when something changes in your class-based component, for example, when the state changed and the component was re-evaluated and re-rendered, this method gets called. This method is basically equivalent to useEffect with some dependencies. So when we use this useEffect React hook, and to that, in the dependencies array, when we specify some dependencies, for example, when we specify a state, then this callback function, which we are passing as the first argument to this useEffect, that will be executed for the first time for the initial rendering, and after that it will also get executed every time whenever the state which we have specified as dependency changes. So whenever this dependency changes, this callback function will be re-evaluated. And the same logic applies to this componentDidUpdate method. This componentDidUpdate method gets called whenever the state inside a component changes. And this method is equivalent to useEffect hook with some dependencies specified. Let's understand this with an example. In the same demo component, let's go ahead and let's create this method. Inside this method also, you can write some logic to handle the side effects whenever the state changes. Inside this method, let's go ahead and let's log a statement. Here, let's say componentDidUpdate called. Let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. Let's refresh the page. So you can see componentDidMount called. Now, when the state changes here, you can see componentDidUpdate called. And when the state changes again this componentDidUpdate called. When the state changes again this componentDidUpdate gets called. Also, if you noticed, this message did not get logged when the web page rendered for the first time. Okay, so you can see componentDidUpdate does not get logged here. This means that componentDidUpdate method will only get executed whenever the state in a component changes. It will not get executed when the component gets rendered for the first time. And in this method, you also receive the previous props value. So you can call it as previous props or you can name it anything. And you also receive previous state. Let's say inside this method, I also want to update the value of this count state. For that, here let's say this dot set state. So using this set state method only, we update a state value in the class-based component. To this set state, we pass an object, and inside this object, we specify the state which we want to update. Here, I want to update this count state. And let's say I simply want to add 1 to this value, to its previous value. So let's say this dot count plus 1. Now let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. Let me clear the console here. Let's refresh the page. And when I click on this hide button, you will see that here we have an error. And it says maximum update depth exceeded. Now why we have this error? That's because inside this method, we are trying to update a state. And we have learned that whenever a state is updated, the component gets re-executed. So here, basically an infinite loop is getting created. So here, when the state is changing, this demo component will be re-executed. Again, it will come to this line. Again, it will try to update the state. So again, this demo component will be re-executed. Again, it will come to this line. And again, it will try to update the state. So in this way, we are creating an infinite loop. And that's why we have this error. Now, how we can resolve this error? To do that, here we can write an if statement. So here we can check if the previous state dot count, if it is not equal to this dot state dot count, then only we want to set the state. So now if we go to the web page, let me clear the console here and let's reload the page. And let's click on this hide button. So now we don't have that error. And you can see this message componentDidUpdate called has been logged here. If I click on this show button, again the state will change in the component and again this message will be logged. So this is how we can use componentDidUpdate method. Next, we have componentWillUnmount. This lifecycle method is called just before the component gets removed from the DOM. And this method is basically equivalent to cleanup function in useEffect. So we have learned about cleanup function of useEffect React hook. This method, this component will unmount, it is equivalent to that cleanup function of useEffect React hook. And if you remember, the cleanup function gets called right before the effect function is executed again, and also when the component is about to be removed from the DOM. In the same way, this component will unmount, this method will be executed just before the component gets removed from the DOM. Let's understand this with an example. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new component. I'll call it paragraph.js. Here, let's create a class-based component. For that, first we need to import component from React library. Then let's go ahead and let's create a class. Let's call it paragraph. And we want to make this paragraph inherit from this component class. And this should be extends. Let's also go ahead and let's export this component class, and let's export it as default. And here, let's create the render method. And from within this render method, let's return a paragraph. And here, let's specify some text. So let's say this is a demo paragraph. All right, now let's go ahead and let's use this paragraph component inside this demo component. So instead of using this HTML paragraph, let's say we want to use our paragraph component. And in order to use this paragraph component, we also need to import it from this file. Let's also specify the closing paragraph element here. And inside this paragraph component, let's go ahead and let's try to use this componentWillUnmount method. And inside this, let's try to log a message. And here, let's say componentWillUnmount called. Okay, with this, let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. Let's refresh the page here. So componentDidMount called. Now, when I click on this hide button, just notice what happens. So when I click on this hide button, you will see that componentWillUnmount called. So this method gets called just before the component is removed from the DOM. As you can see, that paragraph component has been removed from the DOM. So just before that component gets removed from the DOM, this method gets called. And since the state inside the demo component has changed, that's why we also see this message logged here, componentDidUpdate called. Now, when I click on the show button and when the paragraph component will be rendered again, that time we do not see this message. But when this paragraph component will be removed, so that will happen when I click on this hide button. So just before this paragraph component gets removed from the DOM, this message will be logged again. If I click on this hide button, you will see that that message has been logged again here. So this componentWillUnmount method gets called just before the component gets removed from the DOM. So these are the three lifecycle methods of a class-based component which we can use to handle side effects in a class-based component. There are a couple of other lifecycle methods for a class-based component, but they are not that important. So for now, we will stick with these component methods and we will cover other lifecycle methods of a class-based component later. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.